Muhammad Wally from Johannesburg is blazing a trail in motorsport that has him on the fast lane to becoming South Africa's next global racing sensation. At just 15 years old, Mo is already a 5-time South African champion, and he joins us now on Sports Live just to talk about his journey so far. Good evening, young man. Thank you for speaking to us on SABC. How are you?
Good, and you? How are you?
No, we are great. Is it not past your bedtime?
Slightly.
Okay, we're not going to keep you long. For those who are not familiar with you, who is Mo Wally? Where are you from and where do you go to school?
So had the opportunity, thank God, to be homeschooled. I'm a South African international racing driver, and yeah, I live in Johannesburg.
Yeah. So how did you get into racing?
From a young age, I've had a passion for speed, and I think I started racing at the age of 4.5. So it's been a long journey, almost 11 years. Yeah, so it's been a long journey, and I'm not yet reached my goal. My goal, God willingly, is going to be Formula One one day.
Yeah, and who inspired you to get into motorsport and to get into racing? Does it run in the family, or are you the first one in the family?
So I'm actually the first one in the family. But I think Lewis Hamilton probably inspired me, the 7-time world champion.
Mm-hmm. And I believe you are multiple SA champion and African champion. How many titles have you won so far?
So 5 South African titles, 4 African titles, and Bahrain championship title.
And how is the level here of motorsport here in South Africa against the guys that you race against?
So South Africa has actually had a few world champions, so the level is high, really high here in South Africa. So when I go overseas to race, I'm always on the top, thank God, as I'm racing here in South Africa against the best. Yeah, motorsport in Africa is great.
Mm. And when you are international, when you race against these guys in Bahrain, do you find that the level is also the same, or are they on a higher level than us?
Not really. Throughout Europe, Middle East, everywhere, I think our level is on par with everywhere else. Mm. Even sometimes I would say South Africa in certain parts in racing are actually better than the overseas people.
Yeah, so talk to us about the year that you've had. I believe you've won the Rock Cup. What else have you done in 2024? So far this year, thank God, I've won 2 South African national championships, the Rock Cup and the Rotax. Last weekend, I was in the UK at the World Championships. It wasn't the best result for me. I finished the final 6th. We could have easily got a podium, but throughout the weekend, we had too many difficulties with technical problems and getting crashed out. So I started the final 18th. I finished 6th. It's not a bad result. And from now on, I've got next month another World Championship in Italy. God willingly, that all goes to plan, and I have a good weekend, God willingly. But what do you take out of that World Cup in UK? What lessons do you come back with? It's been a really tough world final last weekend. I would say never underestimate your competition. Yeah, that's I would say is what I learned from them. Yeah. And you keep talking about we, so clearly you have a team behind you. How big is your team and what kind of support do you have, Mo? Yeah, so thank God I've got a really good team behind me. Media team, my mechanics, my father, my family. So it's a whole team put together that makes championships and makes it easy for me to win and achieve what I've achieved in my life, thank God. So yeah, it's a whole team. It's not only me. If my kart is not right, if there's a problem with my engine or something technical, there's no way that I can achieve this result. So I have to be really thankful and yeah, to my team also. Yeah. Do you know how to fix your own kart, or you have to rely on the mechanics? No, I do know how to fix my own kart, but obviously with the mechanics and engineers, everything becomes a lot easier. Yeah. You mentioned your father. What kind of support does the family provide you with? Huge support, the whole support structure. Remember, when I come home from a race, it's my family. So, yeah, I would say my biggest supporter is definitely my father. But the whole family is huge.
So you are karting now at the age of 15. What is the pathway then for you to get into the Formula 3s or the other races that lead you up to Formula 1?
So God willingly, next year I'll be racing the Middle Eastern Formula 4, God willingly. And then from there, it's just to build up Formula 3, Formula 2. And God willingly, one day, my goal is Formula 1. Yeah, it's not going to be easy, but yeah, I got my sponsor BP and the people of South Africa and my family and everyone behind me. So God willingly, it will be easy. It will not easy, but God willingly, I would reach my goal one day.
Yeah. So what will it take to get into Formula 4? Do you have to qualify? How do you actually get in?
Obviously, you have to be really talented and good. So yeah, I've got the opportunity that I'll be racing, God willingly, Formula 4 next year. And from there afterwards, you have to get chosen to race in Formula 3, Formula 2, and also have the right teams behind you and sponsors behind you to get all the way to the Formula 1.
And then as far as training is concerned, just besides being in the kart now or being in the car when you move up, what kind of training do you do to prepare yourself for the sport that you're taking part in?
So physically, the sport is really challenging. I at least gym for an hour a day. I do some work on my simulator. And also mentally, with all the spectators, like on a world stage where there's thousands of people watching you, it's not easy, but I try to ignore all the people and, people that can put stress on me and try focus on my goals.
And what is it more that you love the most about your sport?
For me, winning. I love winning, and yeah.
Okay, that's a good thing to love if you want winning, but if you love winning. But what does motorsport teach you? Because we speak to different sports people, and they will tell you maybe boxing, believe it or not, teaches you discipline and not to fight outside the ring. But what have you learned from motorsport?
The motorsport is also discipline, time management. Be able to plan your, I would say, overtakes and when you need to attack, when you need to be on the defensive. So everything, like I would also say, just planning. The planning that goes behind everything, every move, is critical in the whole race.
Okay, well, school is also critical. Are you able to find the balance between motorsport and schooling? You mentioned that you do homeschooling.
Yeah, thank God I've found a balance. Like sometimes on weekends when I'm not at the track, then I'm also doing school. It's not easy as I have to catch up and work extra time, but I'm putting all my time into racing and to get to my goal, God willingly.
Do you like any other sports like normal teenagers, like football, rugby, and all those sorts of sports?
Not really. I haven't really got into any of those sports. Motorsport has really taken up all my time. And yeah, I'm determined to get to where I need to get to one day, God willingly.
Wonderful. And we wish you all the best. You've got a great attitude. Sounds like you've got great support structure and family support also, Mo. Thank you for staying up and joining us here on SABC. You can go to bed now. You don't have to stay up and watch the Springboks at 11.
No, thanks.